Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Paul, and you're welcome to Opinion Sharers. Today, we are still going to be continuing from where we stopped last week, Friday. Last week, Saturday, where we were talking about the role of women in relationships. So, and like I said then, it was a series that we are building on. So, we are going to be continuing there today. And I have some beautiful people in the house today. So, they are going to be joining me to do justice to the issue. So, but before we start introducing ourselves and doing justice, I would want us to quickly go and grab the link and share it. So, I will quickly take a couple of minutes so I can share the link. Please do grab the link and share. It's important that we share it so that people can see what we are doing. I believe that people should benefit from it. So please share it live. Okay, I grabbed the link and I'm sending it to the village boy. Where is the village boy?
Oh, I already shared though.
Ah, okay. Okay, please, is there anyone else who needs the link? Sister Abby, did you
Please,
get the link?
please send it to me.
Okay. Sister Abby, did you get the link? I can't hear her. Okay. I hope she's there. Sister Abby? Okay, okay. All right. I I want us to introduce ourselves now, starting with the village boy.
Thank you very much. My name is Bolidifo Adele, better as a village boy. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And Miss Yetunde Yeti, you can introduce yourself. Okay, I think the network is not that good. Okay, let me come to Timileyin then.
Good evening, everybody. I am Timileyin Ogutuyaki. Thank you.
Okay, and then Madam Dorothy. You are muted. You are muted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, my great people all over the world. My name is Dorothy Frank Taylor. Thank you for tuning in and be blessed as you listen.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Sister Abby, introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abimbola Fashanu Oye. I'm the founder, Best Buddy Scholarship and Hope Foundation. I'm a project manager. I'm a work coach and also a serial entrepreneur. I hope you can hear me all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Yeti. Okay. She's struggling with her network there, I can see. Uh okay. Now she's gonna be here, and I think most of our viewers already know her. So I'm going to continue from where we stopped last week. But before we go on, I want to do a little bit of recap, if you would call it that. Some of the things that we covered last week. All right. So I started by asking the question, who is a woman? A lot of people describe women as, or a woman as being uh, the strongest. Madam Dorothy actually said a woman is the strongest rib among that's stronger than the remaining 23 ribs, you know. And then somebody said women are people who are superpower, and I agree. They describe a woman could be single, could be married, could be, a young girl. And then, we talked about a woman, possibility that a woman might be complicated. Some people agree, a lot of people disagree, and there are even been discussions after then, even comment, review, and messages have been coming in. Some people did not agree. Some people disagree with the village boys. Some people agree. If I personally, I interview some of my colleagues who are non-Nigerians, and they kind of agree that women can be complicated. So it's so we're going to be continuing from there today. And today I want us to specifically cover areas of equality in submission, marriage versus wedding, and then preparation for marriage. So I'm going to be doing the question answering. I mean, asking question, and then some other people also. Some of our guests can also ask questions. So I would start with the village boy. I want to start with the village boy because he raised some dust last week. So that's I want to ask him, has he changed his mind about women being complicated?
Thank you. Do you want another dose today? Well, I think the word complicated, when we look at it from so many angles, it may look very harsh and hard, but because of we're in a time where people don't want it hard, they want it soft. So that word fundamentally, if you want the hard truth, I would say yes, women are complicated. If you want to do it in a subtle manner, maybe not the hardware type, to the software, I would say women are not easily understood, which is again the difference between a dozen and half a dozen and six.
Okay, thank you. I just put my cursor on the word complicated, and looking at the synonyms. It's a complex, difficult, intricate, So these are some of the synonyms of complicated. And in reality, I would think that generally human beings are complicated. Human beings are complex species. And I think when because of a lot of people that I've spoken with, a lot of people say it's because the society don't take time to study women in their lives, and because of that, that's why it may be correct, or it may seem correct, to say women are complicated. But in reality, I think all of us are complicated, and I think we have also all failed. We don't pay attention to studying the people in our life, whether male or female. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to be asking the questions. Thank you, the village boy, for clarifying that. Now, and I want to go straight to something on my mind. And the question is, do human beings attempt to understand people in their lives? Men and women. What's your opinion about that, Madam Dorothy? You are muted.
Okay, sorry. You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, because we love, we tend to attempt to understand the people in our lives. But most times, that understanding does not start with an entirely open mind. Most of us, in trying to understand our partner, we are selfish about it. We try to make our partner work or live the way we want them to live, instead of trying to understand how they are created, how they grew up, what makes them tick, what has survived them so far, what do they like. So when we are trying to force our partners to live our own life, to live like us, to be like us, to be everything we want, we call that trying to understand. Because in my counseling work, I've come across women who say, I did everything for him. He doesn't just, he's not just, I don't know, he's just crazy. You know, you did everything for him. Can you give me example of that everything you did? So along the line, you see that all she did was trying to make the man live her life. And all the man also does is trying to make a woman live his life. If we can disabuse our own self-interest, if you can leave self-centeredness alone and give our partners opportunity, let them make mistakes, let us learn, let us truly understand them. Most of us are expecting a perfect man or woman. There's no such thing. You have to understand your partner. Take time to understand him or her, not force him to live your own life or be who you want him to be or her. So that's what I think.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really love the fact that you mentioned that they should let him or her be human. And don't forget that being human also include making mistakes, trying to, because I think we tend to want to live as though there are manuals, through which you study and then you begin to behave in a particular way. Yeah, there have been manuals, at least religious books have been created in like manuals to guide human beings. But in most cases, I think there is no manual, so to say. So humans are just discovering and exploring themselves. So if only we understand this, not just by mere saying it, but truly to understand it. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm going to ask Timileyin the same question. How much attention do you think we pay into understanding the people in our life, both male and female?
I think, thank you for that question. I think this brings us to understanding and the true meaning of love, and then how many people are attempting to love their partners. Because what I think is when love comes into the equation, we tend to want to care for, to attend to satisfy, and to genuinely make our partners look, we genuinely want to place value on them. So in doing this, we want to understand what makes them happy. In doing this, we want to know what could make them maybe not happy. Let me not use the other word. What will make them not happy and what makes them happy. So how much do we have to do this? I think it depends on how much do you want to love. So how much do you want to love? So because when love comes into it, and it is true, if we are talking about genuine love, I think we can go to any length. I think you cannot say, since I've tried, I've done up to a particular percentage, then I've tried, and if I'm not seeing the result from her or from him, then I give up. No. It is a continuous activity that you have to keep doing. You have to keep figuring things out. You have to keep figuring things out about your partner, because the more you know them, the more you truly can love them.
Thank you so much, Timileyin. That's brilliant. Madam Yeti, I missed you when I wanted you to introduce yourself, but I think a lot of people on this platform already know your face. So I would I will just ask you the question, and then you can introduce yourself at the same time.
It's a rainy day in Abuja, so there's a lot of cloud cover. That's why. That's why. Well, of course, I think a lot of people know me. My name is Yetile Enemdu. Geologist Timileyin, Elesa. Well done. That was very well put. I think we all need to understand. When we meet people, I think we all have an idea of who they are, and the truth is, the idea of who they are is based on our own expectations. Who they are is usually very different from who we think people are. As you get to know them, as you spend time talking to them, as you get to know them the more, then the layers open, and then you get to see a lot of things, some things you really don't like, and you would wish were not what you are seeing, but a lot of things that, well, are really wonderful also. Love really comes about when you learn how to love the whole, everything you're looking at. Now, a lot of people, as you said, a lot of people come with a lot of expectations. They think, oh, this is the man I married. A man is supposed to be this way. A man is supposed to wake up and he's supposed to pray and blah 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 blah. But he might be something very different. So allowing everybody to be themselves and understanding who they are is really the key to loving the person. Because otherwise, what you are loving is your own creation. It's something that you think you're seeing, but when you actually settle down, and it's not the easiest, it's one of the hardest things in the world because they're going to bring things to you that you've never seen before, things that you would rather not see. You know, I remember a friend of mine was saying about somebody that she saw that he looked so gentle initially when she met. And then she found out later she was talking that he had a very bad temper. The temper was really, really, and so she picked her shoes and ran away. But I couldn't blame her. I said, well, but if she was trying to say if she had married him based on what she had seen. I said that is why you get to know people, understand the roots of the anger. Even if you had taken time to understand the roots of the anger, it's something that could have been dealt with, but we really don't know. But it's just all part of it. So I think we as long as you want the trip, you're going to have to take time to understand that person. Otherwise, you will stay on the periphery. Everybody will just be smiling and waving at themselves, and everybody will be okay. But you cannot really have the depth of love you need for a successful companionship. That's what I feel. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm throwing the same question to Madam Abby. I can't hear you.
She's muted. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
Okay.
Okay. Muted myself.
You are still muted. Just, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm coming from a different point of view. You cannot show love. You cannot know somebody's love without loving yourself first. So in order to express love or to check other people's love, how they love one another, first you need to check with what you are looking for, because you can't make another person happy. Another person cannot make you happy. So it's a love that radiates from individuals. So I'm talking of a male and a female species, man or woman, animal or goat. The love that transcends from within is what you about. Two people looking for, so trying to understand you. Have you understood yourself? So it starts from within. So I want to look at myself. What do I like? What do I not like? Then that thinking, with that mindset, then I can start looking at the other person. But without knowing myself and what I want, what I like, what I prefer, then I will probably start attracting the right person. And then I start giving myself, like somebody doing jam. I start giving myself a difficult task because I don't even know myself. Then I'm thinking I want to study another person. So from my point of view, in order for you to know another person, in order for you to understand another person, in order for you to understand your spouse, you need to know yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The concept of self-discovery is something that I play a lot of importance on, and thank you for pointing to that. Now, I'm thinking maybe I should ask the village boy some other question, but then if he still wants to respond to that, it's okay. Now, but if I may, village boy, should I just move on?
What do you want?
Okay, let me move on. I would want to start a new question with you. Now, and the question is, Jimena, you talk about love. Okay. So, and I
Okay.
want to ask the village boy, what is love? And how do you love a woman as a man?
Thank you very much. Uh, we say for those of us who are spiritual, which is different from being religious, love is God, and love is sacrifice. Love is acceptance. So love is genuine. But one aspect of love that we pretend not to exist is the vulnerability. You are vulnerable to somebody you love. When there's genuine love, there is vulnerability. And I want to tell you the good thing about vulnerability is that vulnerability also can lead to self-discovery. It is not nobody, by the time anybody is getting married, you are not a finished product. Nobody is a finished product. We are all work in progress. But if you want to live sincerely with somebody, you must be genuine. You must be vulnerable. See, one of the things that I think causes problems is that when people try to act a script, you want to please the other party. You want to hide your real self, which eventually will still come out. So that is where the problem is. But when you are genuine in you, I mean you are you to you, you present yourself as you are, and you are vulnerable with one another, then you can love one another. Then I want to say something that may not be too popular, that if you want to know your spouse, sometimes if you study her all by herself or all by himself, you may not make much progress. But when you look at her through the primes of order, then you get understanding. Let me give you an example. Uh, when GSM came to Nigeria, many of us were already aging, and we have this issue about, it was supposed to be a mobile phone, and sometimes you want to reach out to your spouse. She's in the kitchen, the phone is in the living room. She's in the living room, the phone is in the kitchen. I was almost walking up myself. Then I took time to study my manager. I have a female manager in the office one day. We were in the boardroom having a meeting, and she was to speak to a client. She left her phone in the office. So when suddenly, I think he told one of our subordinates that she's expecting a call from also client. So when the phone rang, the person saw that phone. She brought it to her where we're having the meeting. That okay, it's also client. She spoke with the client, and we finished the meeting. Somehow she left the phone in the meeting, in the boardroom. So later she came to my office, and I called her. So the phone was ringing. She didn't pick it. I stood up from my office. I'll be calling you. Then she was looking for her phone. She went to the boardroom, picked the phone, came to my office. We had a meeting. Then left the phone on my desk again. So I just sat back and said, okay, this is it. This is it. This is a woman issue. So from that day, I stopped getting angry when I call her. Because in Lagos, when I want to leave office, I want to call home that, okay, do we have fuel in the generator, because we are never sure of NEPA will bring light. So I will call, and the phone will not be picked. Sometimes I have to send my driver to just, okay, go to the house, pick the jerry can, and buy fuel. Then I will get to my, we still have fuel in the house. Why are you buying another one? So, but I'll be calling. So, okay, my phone was in the bag, and she will pick out the phone and look at how many missed call? You say, oh, you won't be calling me. So what I saw happen one day in the life of my female manager helped me to understand that this is not a deliberate. It's not that she's deliberately ignoring my phone. It's just that something because in the process of multitasking, the truth is that women can forget some things. And do you blame them for it? Sometimes it is not fair to blame them for it because most of the thing that she's multitasking about may even be about to please her family. So she's making that sacrifice to please her family, and in the process, she forgets certain things you think she should do. So you need patience to understand one another. You need yourself to be open. You'll be vulnerable. I mean, if you are not vulnerable to your spouse, then you are deceiving yourself. So that is what builds love, genuineness, and vulnerability. So when we are acting drama with one another, we will not achieve much knowledge of each other. So if I'm acting I want to act in a way that you won't see my fault, then I won't even be able to self-discover myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, the village boy. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to ask Madam Dorothy the concept of love. And how do we show love to women in relationship? And after this, I'm going to change it to another question. I wanted to bring Madam Dorothy.
Yeah, okay. You see, the word love is another very complicated word that even the dictionary has not been able to totally help out. Some people are infatuated and they call it love. What people don't know is, you see a man, you see a woman, you look at her physical appearance, you look at tangible things you can see, her height, her qualification, her stature, is she figure 8, and all that and all that. You look at things that are not really important in her. Then on seeing her, oh my God, I love her. There used to be a music those days. If I don't marry her today, if I don't marry her, I will die. Tomorrow, if she doesn't leave my house, I will kill her. So when you don't look at tangible things like character, behavior, family background, what is the level of her patience? What's her understanding? Does she have an appreciative heart? Is she naturally a bitter person? Because people cannot give what they do not have. If you are naturally a bitter person, nothing pleases you. It's going to be difficult for any man to love you or for you to appreciate any man. Today, the word love has been so abused that a girl will claim to love a man. She will leave her parents' house and move into his house, and they call it living lover. What is all that? They start from there, start raising kids. Marriage don't start with that. Tomorrow, you don't even know where the man come from. The man dies all of a sudden. You start looking for his family. And then when they marry because of love, love is not enough for you to marry a man or a woman. There are other things that makes love work. There are things that will even kill a genuine love. When you marry without due process, things will kill the natural, genuine love you came into the marriage with. And a lot of us pretend a lot. Because you want a man, you want a woman, you begin to live a life that is not you. You are a temperamental person. You have short or long fuse. But when you are doing courtship, she does things you don't like, you keep quiet. He does things that will irritate you, you keep quiet, so that he can propose, so that she will agree to marry me. Then after marriage, you begin to live your real self, begin to exhibit yourself. All the things you looked away during courtship, they are now making you angry. You now complain about them. You are going out with a girl you want to marry. She stays with you. You hear her picking phone calls from other men. It's okay. You keep quiet. You won't talk. The moment she marries you, you hear her picking such call, you want to raise the dust. What you will not take in the evening, don't take it in the morning. Be who you are. Some men are looking for a hot-tempered lady who will help them fight siblings or fight step brothers and sisters. So if you come across such a man who who is looking for a hot-tempered woman, a firebrand, then you become ice water. You start acting so that he can marry you. He won't marry you because that's not what he's looking for. Someone looking for a lady who is calm, who is then you are hot-tempered. You start acting like you are calm. You are very patient. You are understanding. Oh, I gave my mom 10,000. You say, oh my God, that's so nice of you. Meanwhile, when he marries you, you won't want her to give her 1,000. So you pretend to be so understanding. Everything he does is okay by you. You have not complained about anything. Then you come into the marriage. You come in with a basket of complaints because you both of you are pretending. Strangers cannot cope together except by grace. So talking about loving a woman, talking about loving a woman, like everybody have said, women are like children too. Once you are nice to a woman, that's what some of them. One lady told me, "Oh my God, I found someone to marry." Okay, what about him? She said, "Oh, he's so nice." I said, "Really? What did he do?" He sent me a recharge card. That's your idea of he is nice. You see, so she will go ahead and marry him because he's nice. He sent a recharge card, and then tomorrow we begin to have problem in the marriage.
Okay.
So
thank you. I have said I was not going to laugh. Oh. It's me and Yetunde that is always laughing here. Anyway, thank you so much, man. Okay. I will savour the laugh for after the program. Now, the issue of equality in submission in marriage. I want Madam Yeti to comment on that. Then I come to Sister B and then Timlay. Equality in submission. Do you believe in it?
Okay. Equality in marriage, in submission. Of course, I believe in it. Of course, I believe in it. The reason it was because the reason I was laughing when Madam Dorothy was talking was because, of course, by the time I met my husband, I had actually decided I didn't think I was going to get married. And so I approached the relationship with all kinds of I was just myself. And as far as I was concerned, if he didn't like it, he should get lost. And so at that time, I was not very mature. So I had all kinds of, whenever we quarreled, I came with my full test, all kinds of anger, all kinds of things, you know. And the way my husband at that time, somebody that was courting me at that time, the way he took it was very interesting. He was very laid back. He was amused, and he liked it. So, so, Madam Dorothy, that thing you're saying is very true. That's why I was laughing so hard. Just be yourself. The person, there's always somebody for you, you know. And he liked it. But what I want to say, as in when it comes to the submission part, is that he didn't come with all the ego and all the you have to listen to what I have to say and blah 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 blah. Even before we got married and even after we had gotten married, he was somebody that took the time to listen to my own opinion. Because when we think about submission, we usually think about women submit to your husband because that's what the Bible says. But we forget that a lot of people are not biblical. A lot of people are not Christians. That is not their reality. So, but submission from both sides in marriage is something that can get your marriage working. It can oil the marriage and get it working right. Submission from both ends means that both of you listen to the other. Both of you, you revere the other. You listen to what the other person is saying, and you are ready to just bow and hear what they're saying at that minute. It's not always that you are always right. It's not your way or the highway. It's not, oh, you are the one that is always right. You are always in charge or whatever. Even a man that is in charge, even if you believe that the man is the head of the home, he can come down and listen to his wife and say, okay, what exactly is going on here? If he does something she doesn't like, she's angry, she's what not. What exactly did I do? What is upsetting you here? What do you think about this? Even when he wants to make major decisions, when he comes to her and he asks her, there's some men that are like, look, I'm going to make the decision, whatever it is that I've said, that's what it is. When you come to your wife and you say, look, I want to make a decision, what is your input on this? You might even end up still making your own decision, as in you might end up going your way. But it shows that you genuinely value her opinion, you value her presence in that relationship, and you value her input into whatever it is you are doing. So that's somehow that's the submission in it, that you go in there not feeling as if you are superior and you are going to sit on top of her head, but or on top of his head, because sometimes it works both ways. But you go in there, both of you willing to listen to each other, willing to put each other first, willing to get each other's point of view on everything, and then work together, come together to agreement, and then work together from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That was brilliantly put. My friend, it's your turn.
Yeah, when submission is a very controversial topic, and I'm sure we all know that. And I get a lot of women to submit. This is according to scriptures, like Ma'am Yeti said, they all refer to the Bible, even people that are pagans, and they forgot to read the first part of that particular verse. So if you start from Ephesians 5, which is verse 22 to 24, that's what they read a lot. But they forgot to mention that before 22, there is 21. And 21 says that husband and wife should submit to one another. I repeat that. Husband and wife, they should submit to one another. Now, talking about submission, who do you submit to? A higher authority, right? And in part of the 22 to 24, it likened it to how Christ, how the church submits to Christ. You read that? How the church submits to Christ. Now, does Christ lord anything over his followers? The answer is no. The definition of an average African man, I repeat, an average African man, the definition of submission to them is subservient. The definition to an average African man of leadership is servant, is that I have to be dictator. So a wife, my wife has to submit to me. That means she has to be a servant. Now, but the way Christ describing that is a servant leadership. If I'm submitting to you, my dearest husband, it means that my husband has to serve me. That's what leadership means. And I would liken that to the United Kingdom. If you're a manager in the kingdom, you will walk your, oh my goodness, let me try and mind my words now before I get stood by Christians. You will walk your butt off, because they will look at you that being a manager means you can do your job, you can do other people's job, you can do this other one's job. When they are not, you'll be the one everything. That is manager. And that also goes to if I'm saying, if someone said, oh, you need to submit to your husband. Yes, I need to submit. I have to submit to my husband because my husband is the lead, and leader means watching over everyone. So you're not refer that to like the leadership in Africa. When somebody is saying, oh, I am your governor, and the governor is people to worshiping him. And on the other hand, being a leader means serving people. So the equality, when we understand the full meaning of what we're supposed to do as individuals, we know our role, we know our part. Why would I not submit to my husband when I know that all is there to be as a leader is for him to reference me, to take care of me, to look after me, to manage me. And I don't mean micromanage, to know that, okay, before I sleep, my husband is already thinking, what's my wife going to eat today? What's children going to be tomorrow? And he's made sure everybody's needs are met. I typical African woman will not submit to that kind of authority. But when you don't know your position, you don't understand your position, then you see some guy that was not trained or that did not wake up one day or he didn't have any open, he said, wife has to submit to me. Oh, this is 2021. Women submit to higher authority. Somebody that is good up, somebody that has a brain, somebody that is using that brain God has spotted it to be. And if you're going to follow the Bible, follow it well. Husband and wife. Ephesians 5:21, submit to one another. That is where the equality comes through. And if we're going to use that at all, we should not go to 22 because we're cherry picking the Bible, kind of picking the one that we think, oh, this one suits us well. Oh, have to submit. My wife does not submit to me, has to move out of her house. Excuse me, the house belongs to both of you. So, and that's my point. Equality, it starts from the Bible. If we're going to quote it, we should quote it from where it starts from. Ephesians 5:21. And if it's not there, you can ask again. 5:21. Submit to one another, respect one another, share, and look at it from the servant leadership. Jesus Christ, all through time, even though he's the leader who are following, he was never lording, he was a dictator, an average African man, or the way taught, the way of the things that we hear. The people that are looking after their family, the one that is not a dictator is seen as a mumu. Mumu is somebody that is not sensible. Okay? So a sensible person, an average Christian that is doing things right, people don't see them as being good. I'll use an illustration. My dad usually cooks for my mom. And I could remember the family members would come and say, why are you the one cooking for your mother, for your wife? And so those things to some people are seen as, oh, this is the rule of this person, this is the rule of that person. But remember, if we're following the Bible, we must follow it well. Submit to one another. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So many things raised today. Timileyin.
Thank you. That's a very comprehensive submission. And yeah, it's very
submission about submission.
About submission. Yeah. So in my own perspective, I think the problem here is the word submission. So if we try to look away from that word and we try to apply it in reality in our situations, and not ever think about the word submission or trying to bow down or trying to serve or trying to be the number one in rank or try to, I think what my main point here where I'm driving at is just coordination. If we can coordinate, we know that if the wife is the one working or doing is working for longer hours, and then the husband will have to step in. If it is the other way around, it has to go that way. So it is about having mutual respect for each other. It is about knowing, in fact, in this kind of situation, if there is genuine love, really, there wouldn't be controversy. But it is because it is very rare to come by, maybe in the world. That is why this word submission, because where real love exists, they would coordinate things within each other, between each other. They would do things the normal way, and they don't have to tell you, because it is by the time it gets out to the world out there that they will try to give you several meanings to it, or they see you in the act. They feel like you are doing this for your wife. This is wrong. You are doing this for your husband. Is only taking advantage of you or your, maybe because you're a woman or what, or something of such anyways. So what I think is, number one, it is about having mutual respect for each other. Number two, it is about coordinating in love. And it is about understanding. And just forget about the word submission itself. Because when you say submission, when you say submit, it becomes a problem. But if we have to be, if we want to be real with this, if we want to move ahead, if we want to live together in peace and remain in love, we have to have mutual respect for each other and coordinate as the situation demands.
Thank you, Timileyin. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to take it a little bit forward, and I'm going to ask this question. The next question is going to the village boy and Madam Dorothy. And the question is this: I sense that there's a conflict among new generation of Africans about the concept of submission. I live with my grandparents, okay, while growing up. And then I saw my parents also, the way their marriage was, the way they live their life. So this concept of submission, regardless of whether we are Christian or not, it's like foreign, especially when it's applicable to men. And I've related with, lately, I'm relating with uh, other Africans, men, So, and it is as strange to them as any African generally. So, I want to ask this question: how do you think we deal with it? How can we deal with it? The concept of submission or equal submission, as the case may be. Village boy first.
All right, thank you very much. Let me explain the concept of stages in relationship. There are 3 stages, and only a few people attend to the last stages. The first stage is dependency, whereby one person dependent on the other. Just like when you born a child that is sleeping 22 hours, is totally dependent on the parent. So when he cries, the baby is fed, and the baby sleep back. Then it got to the next stage is the baby become independent, can do this by himself or for herself. So then the last stage, which is very uncommon, which many people, even including marriage, do not attain to, is when you both surrender your independence and you take on mutual interdependence. That is the stage where the concept of cooperative advantage works. This is the most reasonable stage in any relationship. Now, in the olden day, because women are full-time housewives, they don't earn income most of the time. Some don't even trade. So they are totally dependent on their husband. So we have seen then when we move to the stage of money stage, when you see the husband who is a salary earner and insisting that the husband should not do, the wife should not do any work, to be a sit-at-home mom, and the woman becomes totally dependent. Even for every little expense, she has to wait for the husband. So in that case, the woman is like what we may call glorified slave in marriage. So because she's one person is independent, meanwhile the husband can do everything. The husband is independent, but the wife is dependent. Then you move to a modern time where both man and woman are independent, whereby everybody and the woman earns and the man earns, and then the conflict begins. The man still believes that okay, his own independence should give him all power, and the woman said, "Look, okay, if I'm bringing something to the table, why should you overtly control me? Why should I be your slave?" Then there is much resistance, and that is why most of the issue with breakages in marriages today, that is the stage at which they occur, where the two parties, they don't know how to manage their independence. So there's always that clash of independence. I'm independent, you are independent, and somebody want to insist that okay, I'm the master. Of course, we may find it convenient to go back to the scripture, like Sister Abby say, and they start reading from verse 22. I wrote an article recently. I said, when you give hold to the madman, he will even till the ground toward himself. So, do you blame men who pretended not to see verse 21? It's not reasonable, but that is the reality. They pretend not to see that verse 21. Not that we don't know that it ends there. You did not even quote it fully. One thing that is important, they say, submit one to another in the fear of God. So if you say you are, you are doing it, you are morally obligated. No, that okay, just as Joseph said, why should I do this and sin against God of heaven? So when the fear of God is there, it becomes not an issue. Then the last stage, which as I said, where you are now bring my independence and you bring your independence, and we all put on the table and we pick on mutual interdependence. So there are things that men are stronger than in doing, and there are things that women are stronger, than men in doing. So when you have this mutual interdependence, then you now operate on the principle of comparative advantage. For instance, I used to counsel people, I used to counsel men. Look, if your wife drives a car, as a simple thing, every week or maximally within 2 weeks, make sure you drive that car one day in a week or in 2 weeks. Why did I say so? Because so far the car is working, most women don't bother. It's the day that they kick the start and the car is doing that we call this car is not working. No, car doesn't work forever anyway. So, but if you take it as your responsibility as the husband, and okay, my wife's car, I'm supposed to drive it once if it is on weekend to know the state of that car, to make sure that you will not be happy that your wife is driving her car and it's around night and third mainland bridge, the car stop working. Of course, she will be in danger. Yeah, you will also be panicking where you are. So sometimes when we deploy the concept of mutual dependence, mutual benefit, mutual interdependence, we benefit. All of us benefit from the process. So most marriages don't get to the third stage, and that is the ultimate stage whereby that they will say in Yoruba where that when the leaves stay too long with the soap, the leaves have become the soap itself. That is black soap, not loss. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Village boy, you missed my question. Oh. My question was I wanted you to, to comment on the conflict generation that exists between the generation before and the generation now. There are young men like me who have never seen their parents, who have never seen what we are referring to as equal submission now with their parents. So there is conflict between what is taught to them in church, for instance. In fact, many Nigerian churches also, or African churches also, don't teach equality in submission. So, and if I go by what Madam Abi said, it then means that the man and submission. It's not as if he truly he is not submitted to because he is the husband. He's submitted to because he has the means to earn it. That's maybe wrong.
I think maybe you
Let me go
didn't
to.
pay close attention to what I was saying. I try when I was looking at those stages, 3 stages. I explained that at the dependence level in the olden days, because the man provides everything for the family, the woman is totally dependent. So the issue of submission did not arise.
Yeah,
So
but my
because
grandma,
it is
my
given.
grandma went to the farm with my grandpa, and they have their farm side by side.
There is a do, but it's not the same thing as what we have it now, where I even went further that okay, then we got to say that the man is a salary earner, but the wife is a totally complete housewife and has to depend on the man for every pen, every expense that he will make. Now, what happened now? Why the issue of the state which I mentioned, which maybe I didn't make it explicit enough, this is now when we have two independent people, both man and wife, uh, earning, and everybody contributing to the distance. And because of that, the woman is the man that okay, if I'm bringing something to the table, I cannot be a complete slave in quote in my own home too. So they are demanding for that mutual respect. That mutuality is what that they are demanding for. It is what is leading to the conflict. And the way the church has intervened is to quote from verse 22 of that Ephesians 5, that is your husband, you are supposed to submit to him rather. Yes. If what do we mean by earning submission? Even if there is it's just like you have flying the plane between the pilot and the co-pilot. If there is conflict, what do you think will happen? The plane may likely crash. So the stage which people don't get to, which is the last stage, is the stage that where we now focus more on verse 21 rather than verse 22 to verse 24. Maybe I
Okay,
didn't present it the way you wanted me to.
okay. Let me quickly go to Madam Dorothy. I want to take her perception on that topic. Submission, especially I want you to look at Recently, I saw that you wrote something about what Papa Edoche was saying about marriage in their time and what it is even now. You understand? So now, when you now look at the concept of submission to an average African man who has been brought up in the typical African home, he has never seen his grandma, his granddad, or his daddy or his father submit to any kind of share any kind of thing which we refer to as submission today with the mother or the grandma. So the conflict there, do you think there's a conflict? Maybe I'm getting it wrong.
Okay, you see, the Bible said too much learning has made thee mad. Not you. That's how the Bible wrote it. The word I won't like the word slave to come into a marriage relationship. And then this word submission, I think we have blown it out of proportion. Submissiveness came as an orderliness, and Christ was trying to make it orderly, because there's always a head. There's always someone.
Got business receipts?
There's always someone in charge. Someone has to be in charge. Someone has to be responsible for a family. The man is put in a family. He is responsible for family. We're talking about verse 21. Submit to each other talks more about submitting sexually to each other, your bodies to yourselves, than having conflict of control in a home. How can there be conflict of control? The man's figure in the house, those days, a woman would tell the children, okay, you did this, wait, let your daddy come back, I will tell your daddy. The child will begin to beg immediately. That is a home where a man, that's a figure of a man. But these days we have grown, we make money, we have education, and then we think that figure is not necessary. I don't know how. There are things a man can do. For you to, everybody, the man is supposed to love the wife as Christ loved the church and gave his life for the church. The man is supposed to literally give his life to the woman by working so hard to make sure that he picks his bills. But having said that, economy have crumpled many men. In fact, everybody, a man alone cannot pick all the bills. So this is where the woman comes in. What is the woman? A helpmate. You are not in competition with your husband. You are to help him. Even if you make more money than him, you don't lord yourself over him. You don't take authority from him. I can see women submit to only men that have money. That's not it. A man may not have money now, but with your help, that man will become something. A man is incomplete until you come in to help him harness his potentials. A woman is a good counselor. You come in to counsel him, and he begins to make progress to your credit. But when you come in, all you come in is what I can get. Most women today drag their husband to court wedding, thinking of inheritance if he dies. If you don't do court wedding, if he dies, you get nothing. These are the mindsets for which you get into marriage. There is no competition. God is God of order. God gave her an orderliness. The woman is even not to love the man. It is not a duty to love the man. Because some of you have loved the man so much that you see a text message on his phone from a woman, you kill him in his sleep. That is too much love. You're not supposed to love him. You are supposed to submit to him. He is supposed to love you. And if a man loves you like Christ loved the church and gave his life, he will give his life to you, for you, if you submit to him. If you allow him to be in charge, to be the man he built to be, a man that you live with, you don't submit to, cannot really make progress, because he needs that submission to give himself a boost. Like, oh, this woman, she expects so much from me. She respects me so much. She submits to me. She's proud of me. I'm not going to fail her. He wants to remain at that up there. He wants to keep that submission coming. So he will do everything to make you happy. But he buys you gifts. He takes care of you to the level he can. Even a spoken word. But some men are so terrible. You don't have money. You don't have good mouth. A woman is helping you as a helpmate. Oh, sweetheart, thank you so much. You contributed to the school fees, to the house. I appreciate you so much. I wish someday I could be I could do it all by myself, so you can rest. I'm sorry that you're working so hard to helping me. Heaven will help you. A man has been given power to place hand on your wife and pronounce a good thing for her. It will come to pass. It's in the Bible. But how do you lay hand on a woman who is already standing on your head as a, as a man who is already subduing you? A woman got across to me recently. Her child needed money for her hair. The husband promised to give, but he couldn't meet up. The woman gave the child, get that money. And that child begins to talk down on the father, begins to disrespect the father somehow. Then I called the woman and said, you shouldn't have done that. You should have given that money to your husband, since he had already said he wants to. Make him look good before the children. You are giving him that money, so he will give the child. The child will not know that it's from you. But as it is now, you are relegating the man to the background. It's not totally his fault that he cannot. So I don't know this idea of a man thinks of what the children will eat tomorrow. So is that a man's business to think of what the children will eat tomorrow? He's only to provide the money. And then it's a woman's business to think of what the children will eat tomorrow. How do you feel, a woman, you sit down, your husband cook food and serve you? These are things that, I don't know. For me, I'm old school. I'm not cut out that way. It's surprising. Now, I see in Canada, a friend of mine sits at home. Her husband she goes to work. She's a nurse. Husband does school run. Husband cooks. Husband took night job so that he'll be able to do school run and be able to cook for the children. Those days, a woman would choose a job that will give her time to care for her children. But these days, a woman chooses the highest paying job, whether it will take her away from her children or not. She doesn't care. She wants the money. She wants to impress. She wants to show the man that, yes, you make money, I make money. And then that's why we have children all over the street misbehaving, children taking to drugs and smoking, because the home is broken down. The problem of society today is from home. So this word submission, I don't know. A woman is submit to her husband. I don't know. If you don't want to submit, let the two of you be competing, and let two of you will know who is the owner. And that's why, who is the winner? Both of you are competing. You are in competition. I know you are taking the competition.
Thank you, man. Okay, this was where I wanted to go before, and the village boy was dribbling me, but then finally we got there. Thank you, man. Now, I know that if we continue this one, we will not be able to touch the other issues, and I feel like you guys might still want to voice about this. So I am thinking we move on, okay, if you permit me.
Okay.
So I want to talk about. I wrote many things down here, that I can't even begin to read, because I was making notes as you guys were talking. I still want to believe that the world has changed, and that's why I was talking about conflict between the two generations. That we seem to be confused, kind of. We are confused between seeing our parents submit the way they used to. I mean, practice submission the way they used to, and what we see is being practiced today, whether in the West, whether in Asia, whether in even that is being preached in the church today. And the fact that women, it's a fact that women today respect men that provide, men that give them money, men that have the means, so to say. And this is not just whether only African women; it's across the board, So the bills is important. Now I want to move on again, So marriage versus wedding. I want us to quickly do that in 20 minutes, and then, So I want let me go to Madam Abi. I want her to give her impression about marriage and wedding. How we treat it, which one is important, and which one is given more attention in your own opinion.
I think I say our generation give more attention to the wedding rather than the marriage. But the ideal one is to give attention to marriage. And I'm not sure if I'm mixing those two together. The wedding is the celebration, I guess. And the marriage is the continuous effort. And I would also say that it's not just enough to have those two mindsets It's the preparation towards it. Is how do we prepare? What do we know as individuals? So an average woman. I'm trying to be very political by not saying Nigerian, but unfortunately, I don't know more African women than Nigerian women. So, and this is not name shaming, is being trained and is being groomed. I think I was sharing something with our host recently, how we are being told what to do when you're going to university. Face your studies, focus on your studies, be very good, follow, read your books and all that. And the moment you finish university, then the next thing you're being told is who is that person you're going to marry. And the people that got married, even though they're not prepared, they are the lucky one. They are the one that their prayers have been answered. And the ones that are waiting, that are doing the right thing, they're following, they're ticking all the right boxes. They are the evil ones. They are the ones that need to bath or go for deliverance in MFM or all those deliverance places. Whereas doing right things in Nigeria or in Africa general is not celebrated. We celebrate success rather than the process. So I'm not going to talk about marriage or wedding. I'm going to talk about the preparation. How do we prepare a girl child? How do we prepare a male child? What do you know about marriage before thinking of I want to go and do wedding? So, of course, that means automatically that both things are not relevant without preparation. Either the wedding, either the marriage. Now, the wedding is your choice. If you have money to throw about, if you don't think that there is need for you to prepare for the future, if you don't think, and those are values that should come between husband and wife, or maybe a man and a woman before they get married. So if you share values of a waster, just like your partner, why not celebrate, squander the money, do fun fair, and what have you? That's your money. But if you value your future more than your today, then you know that day is that day, and you know that marriage is what you have to concentrate on. But before we get to that point, what's our preparation? When you tell a girl child that, oh, is this how you're going to be cooking in your husband's house? Is this how you're going to be doing in your this? What preparation do we give a girl child? I think we need to cut a girl child some slack. And like Madam Dorothy, I don't want to go back to that topic, but I'm just going to mention it, that the generation before is different from the generation now, no matter how we want to paint it. That Peter Dolce talk, and I'm saying this all sincere, if anybody wants to share, I'm happy for them to share this, is total crap. Because in this generation, I can say that this generation are not getting things right, but in this generation, saying that if my husband is going out, I should pack a condom inside his bag, I think it should be a thing of a choice. If I want to do it, and that my family or my husband cooks for me, one thing we have to learn is that every man, every woman, they have their own individuality. So, for instance, now, our host here could be a very good cook, and the wife might not even know how to cook. Now, I know an average Nigerian will stone a woman that doesn't know how to cook because they should know how to cook. But that woman that doesn't know how to cook have other good values. She can learn how to cook, but she's not a good cook. She knows how to cook, but the husband knows how to cook better. So if my husband knows how to cook better or knows how to do other things better, why not let him do it? If my husband don't know how to maybe iron clothes or maybe wash a car, and I'm very good at washing car, why can't I do it? Our people, Yoruba people, will say, "Kọkùnrin jókòó pa, obìnrin lè jókòó pa, kéjò ṣáà má ti sálọ." I don't know how to interpret that in English, but it means that whoever has that specialty or that skill in doing something, let them do it regardless. There's all this gender, or this person has to do this person has to do that. I don't think it's that relevant in this day and age. And I know that we have to look at the values, the Queen said values, how we are being, our upbringing, how things are being done. We are not condemning the whole generation. They do it at that point and it works for them. So God be the glory. But this is the way this generation wants to do this, which it means that everyone has an equal voice. Everyone, you have your voice. So I'm not saying, oh, condemn men. I'm saying give kudos. Give kudos to everyone individually. So I will give kudos to the men for doing the great things that they're doing. I'll give kudos to the women for doing great that they're doing, but I wouldn't pamper somebody that is a cheat. If you are a cheat, let me finish here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Please, can you give me
All
1
right.
minute? Just 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds, please. 5 seconds.
5
please.
seconds. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because the Peter Edochie right went viral and people have had it mentioned here. I need to clarify something. When he said put condom in your husband's bag, he also said that when a man goes on a trip, opens his bag that you packed for him and saw condom, that could make him have a change of heart from cheating, because that condom signifies that my wife is suspecting me and that may make him not do it. So when we talk about that his video, let's listen to the video to the end. This is his reason for saying put condom. Is a way of saying, man, I suspect you. So he said that may make him not cheat, because already that condom signifies suspicion from his wife. I just wanted to correct that.
Okay. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much for clarifying that. I love the fact that you clarified it. But it also means that if my wife is already suspecting me, there's already trouble. Anyway, I will go to Yetunde. You know, I want you Yetunde to comment on behalf of other women that you have seen. You know, when going to marriage, how does an average African woman or an average Nigerian woman, not speaking for yourself now, speaking for other people that you have seen, okay, how do you think they prepare for marriage? What is their expectation? You know.
Well, there was a way they used to prepare for marriage back in the days. As I think it was Abby that said it. Back in the days when they're preparing for marriage, is this how you're going to cook in your husband's house? Your mother will teach you when you're sleeping, they'll make you wake up early, you make the beds, you clean the house, you go and start cooking from a certain age so that they know you can cook in your husband's house and all that kind of stuff. But I think the women of these days, things are a little different. I don't think they actually really prepare for their husband's houses. I think they just think their idea of preparation, I don't know, might just be okay. This is what we're going to wear. As Madam Dorothy said, there is because he bought me recharge card. I don't know whether in your marriage all he'll be doing is buy recharge card for you. There's nothing else is coming there to do. I don't know. But I think when you go into the marriage with proper expectation, stop laughing, sir. When you go into the, I'll start laughing too. I can't help it. When you go into a marriage with proper expectations, I think the preparation should be that you are going into a place, understanding that you're going to meet a human being that is as different from you in background and in temperament and in character as can be. And so your preparation should be going in there to understand what that person is bringing to the table. But nowadays, what people go in there thinking is, they prepare themselves by knowing I'm not going there to go and take any bullshit. I'm going there to go and I'll go there and nobody can pull the wool over my eyes. Some of them are prepared actually by being told that men are cheats already, and they're going to take advantage of you. So you have to be ready to fight. When they say 1, you have to say 10, you know. And that's what a lot of people, that's what I hear a lot of people going into marriage being prepared for. And their wedding, so that they're not ready to go in there to make it work. Some of them are staying outside. Look, if he tells me 1, 2, 3, once I see this thing, I'm leaving. That Peter Edochie's video, what I saw about it, while I don't agree with it, what I saw about it was a man that was, you know, in the day, what they say, back in the days when things broke, we didn't throw them away. We actually fixed it. That was what I heard when he was trying to do that. His focus was on keeping the home intact, not really now looking at the value of what you have there is a little different. But for him, what he was trying to push forward was having a home that was one, how your home would not break. He was not particularly talking about how to have a home that is smooth running or very viable. He was just talking about how to have a home that was intact. And a lot of people actually women back in the days actually went into their marriages with that mentality, which is where they'll come with that. So, sir, I say a lot of people prepare for marriage more. They think of their ashwebi, the dress they are going to wear, how much it's going to cost, how they're going to dance in, and what they're going to do, and all the what. But they don't think about what comes after, the compromises they're going to have to make, the understanding they're going to have to bring to the table, the number of times you are going to actually have to put down what you think you know and listen to somebody else because and actually agree because your relationship depends on it. That should be what they are doing. But nowadays, I don't think it's that. Everybody's going into it with, no, nobody's going to take any nonsense. And I can't blame them because there's a lot of nonsense being spread around anyway. But I can't blame them. But I think a lot of the time, I think when you want something to stop, you have to start correction from your own corner of the globe. So when you go into a relationship, they say be what you seek. When you go into a relationship, they should actually hope to go into it more understanding. So when they go into it, the person, even if it was coming with war, the person could learn from them, may learn from them. There are some people that don't learn anything. But this is just my own view.
Okay, thank you so much. Timileyin, I want Timileyin to look at, because Timileyin was married just a couple of years ago. And so I want to pick his head regarding how guys, young men, of his age and of nowadays, how are they preparing for marriage? And the same thing, women also. How do you think, in their opinion? I'm not asking for your logic now. I'm just saying from your experience, what's your observation in terms of preparing for marriage, both men and women?
Thank you. I think all of the speakers have done good justice to that, but I would like to still give my opinion. So it is very true that women, that our parents actually give more attention to training and preparing ladies, or let me say women, for marriage than the male child. So in Africa today, let me say in Nigeria specifically, the best way for a guy to prepare for marriage is to have money. Like that, everybody knows that if you go to ask for a girl's hand in marriage, maybe you go to their family house and you say, okay, I found a beautiful rose flower in your home that I wish she could follow me. They will ask you, what do you do? It's not a bad question anyway. But they will try to assess the guy by the way of his looks, the way he speaks, probably how exposed he is, without actually trying to figure out the kind of home he came from, or what his virtues are, or what he believes in, or how much is likely going to take care of their daughter, not in terms of money, actually. So I think that's one big problem about our society today. It is about money. If you have money, you are good to go. You would see guys, just because they finished school and they hit jackpot, like they say, and they have money, the next thing is just to go have get a woman to marry. And then that's why the breakups, the hurt, the pains that follow marriages these days, they are no surprise to many people, and even to me in particular anyway. So what I think is that the male child especially is not adequately prepared, or the male child does not prepare adequately for marriage. All they think about is how to get money and choose the woman they love. They think they have, let me say, they think can satisfy them. That has a woman that has the features, the physical features, the woman that has that is presentable, so to say. Like if my friends see this lady, they will know, Timmy has done well. If they see this lady, I wish I can get a woman as beautiful as this. Not knowing what the guy is facing at home, or what the kind of battle he's fighting. So what I think is guys just basically look for money, and the male child is not adequately prepared. And for the female child, their own is even more complex, in the sense that they are adequately prepared, but they don't take the training again anymore because of pressure from the same home where they are being prepared. They have pressure from the same home. They want them to just go as quickly as possible. So it's just like disposing of somebody, and they want to just go. So in their bid to go, they are confused because they know that this is a real guy, but the guy doesn't have a lot. But they know, they are convinced that this guy is just going to is going to take care of me. I mean, when it comes to care, but he doesn't have the money yet. He doesn't have millions. He doesn't have enough in their own perspective. So but they see the other guy is not so good, but man, he has money, and he can take me to Dubai, he can take me to Canada, he can take me to the US, you know. So they are just, and they know, of course, that if these two guys are brought home, Papa will likely take this one home because of the Benz that he brought home. So definitely, I think their own case is even more complex, because a man, that is why it is very possible for a man to get physically or sexually satisfied just having a wife, but a woman emotionally has a lot of troubles in their mind, so in marriage. So I think while they are not both adequate, while the female child is adequately prepared, they are confused at the point of choosing because of the pressure, because of a lot of other factors, and the male child is not adequately prepared. Money cannot do everything, though.
Thank you so much, Timileyin. Thank you, thank you. I love all those. It's right on point. And I'll go to the village boy now. So I want the village boy to tell us, how is this generation? I mean, the generation of parents who are of marriageable age, or parents whose children will be of marriageable age in the next 5 years. How are they preparing children? In your opinion, I'm not saying you should give your logical explanation here, from your observation, because
Okay.
I want it to be a little bit of balancing it, so that we don't just come here and become posh, and give our English and all of that, whereby like Yetunde said one day, he said we are speaking on behalf of the people. So let's represent a little bit of that. Thank you.
Well, let me take off from where Timileyin stopped. Even the male child that is being prepared, most of the time, don't no longer listen. They no longer listen to their parents. The average youth today, the average young person of marriageable age, derive information more from social media than from the parents. They listen to whatever they see on Twitter, especially Twitter. So they are carried away by the glamour of Instagram and Snapchat. So it is a Herculean task for today for a parent, an average parent, to sit a young guy that will be ready for marriage in the next 20 or the next 5 years, to sit them down and teach them about the value of marriage. Most of them will tell you straight away, oh, mom, dad, you are old school. We know what we want. That's most of the thing we hear today. Even some of them, and we have seen some parents who are so frustrated, and they think by sending most of these children to us, uncles, aunties, is the best way to address this issue. And they still tell us that we are old school too. That when we were conversing on the role of men, we said, look, male child and the girl child should be trained the same way. Even this issue of controversial cooking, there's nothing wrong in a man or a boy or a girl cooking. When I was talking about mutuality, it seems as if I was terrorizing. I wasn't terrorizing. That is the fact behind this thing. Most children of now, they don't listen to their parents again. They throw out the opinion on social media and they get the kind of counsel, which most of them are fake. You read most of those things on Twitter, you will shake your head. And when they are falling, they will say, oh, they will now be celebrating it. What is amusing, what is shocking to me is like, that's what they call premium tears. They will even tell themselves, don't worry, you will come back with premium tears. And we have this common this on Twitter now, at today, which means we have gone and come back. Oh, the place no good. So now they don't even care. They will tell you that the thing lasted for 90 days. They will tell you the precise number of days this lasted. So in those days, at least the guy child has the benefit of being prepared, though not adequately too, because the preparation is skewed too. They have been prepared, but the boy child is not even prepared at all. You have to navigate through it, the process yourself. I mean, I can't remember when I was sat down, I was talked to about marriage, except when I was told where I cannot marry from. But I think God helped me, I was able to break that barrier. So it's not that there is lack of counseling, but there is lack of listening. These young people don't listen. And if they begin to listen, maybe it's even better to have a conversation than not listening. Everything once in a while I go to Twitter, they will even tell you everything the parent tell you. They will say this is a trend. This is what my mom told me. This is what my father told me. And they will be blasting their parents. You will see ugly comments. Say, how can your parent be telling you that? So that is where the confusion is. And this social media has complicated the matter for this generation. So social media is good, but we have to sift the fakeness from the real one. So that is a challenge that sometimes I pity them. The information age, we have more information and sometimes less knowledge. We have more information and more confusion. So I think that is a challenge this generation has to overcome. Which one do they place higher? The social media advice or the parental guidance? Of course, we may say some parents don't have time for their children because of economic factors too. That is another angle. Thank you. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Now, I wanted to go to Madam Dorothy, and I want her to quickly do justice to the concept of how important was money in a relationship before now.
Okay. Money was important too, but the good thing is that the women of those days, they were it's easy to satisfy them. They didn't have long throats of designers, of Bond Street, of So the want of this generation has actually increased the need for money, and I don't know how much will be enough for this generation. So the difference is that back then, our women were not in competition with their friends. Whatever their husband could afford for them, as they were not working, they will wear it to church and they are happy. But these days, go to most of us, our wardrobe, my God, we can feed a nation. Yet, every new occasion we buy clothes. So money, I don't know. It's important, of course. We have to eat, we have to pay rent. But going all out for money in a relationship without even having time. Okay, husband and wife, when did you guys go out on a date, on holiday? Have fun, treat yourself like when you were boyfriend and girlfriend. When no, everybody chasing money, working 247, no time for children, no time for husband, no time for spouse. A man goes to work and works his heart out, comes home, the wife tries to touch him in the night. Look, I'm tired. I'm tired. And the woman too, it may be the woman that comes back at them and the man wants to make love at the woman. You are wicked. I'm telling you. I'm just coming back after I work 8 hours. You're very wicked. So we're all pursuing money, and leaving attention to each other. This topic today is preparing for marriage. I wrote something in the chat. We need to be really willing, determined that I'm going into marriage, I'm going to make it work. Not like, oh, my friends have married. Let me to go and marry. Beg, if it doesn't work, I'll come out. What a mindset. You are going to come out because that's the mindset you have. Now, these days, like the village boy said, those days we listen to parents. When a parent look at a lady, the way she walks, or a man, that parent can tell you, hey, this one where they put 2 legs inside bush, you go to scatter house or you go to scatter money, you know, you gather money. Those things are superstition, but they walk. But today I see girls, they go and rent parents. Their parents are alive, oh. They go and rent parents to represent their parents at their wedding because their parents have said, don't marry this person. When your parents say don't marry this person, ask them more questions. Let them throw more light to you. Check what they are saying. But no, once they said that we black them out and then go and rent parents and do our marriage. Then when you enter that marriage, the man begins to maltreat you. The woman begins to, to kill you silently. You cannot shout. Men don't cry. So, and you cannot even go to your parents because they already warned you. You have no one to run to. Then you begin to die in silence. Tomorrow, we hear RIP. Even at that, I encourage listeners, if you have made a mistake and you are dying in silence, speak out, speak to someone, find solution. But marriage decision is sweet. Companionship is sweet. Have you imagined when you are old at 70, 80, you have no one near you, all your children are gone. It will be you and your wife alone. Why not make it work? Why not build that bond? Prepare for your marriage. Don't just prepare for wedding alone so that, oh, my wedding gown will be the best in town, my ashebi and all that. Just for social media, and that's all. What happens in the home? You're not ready. You come to a house of a man who has a wife. The house is smelling. The baby pee on the bench. If the man comes back from work and should talk, the woman will be like, "Is your child now? Now let me born the pikin. It's one of us child." And then men too, like somebody said here, when you wash your hand individually, each hand does not get as clean as when you wash your hands together. So this is marriage. You and your wife have to do things together. Whenever you can help. I didn't say there's anything wrong with a man cooking for his wife. My dad those days used to cook once a while, and when he does, his food used to be the best because he has the money. He will buy plenty meat, plenty stockfish. But mommy will be managing the stockfish, but daddy will put a lot. So all of us will look forward to daddy's once a while cooking. So men, your children will enjoy your food once a while. It's like family bonding. Today I'm in charge. Tomorrow I'm in, and let's teach our children well, male and female. If you raise a child that is not properly brought up for marriage, keep that child with you. Don't give that child to marry to anybody to go and foster another person's life. Each of us, train your son well, train your daughter well. If they are not okay, keep them with you. Don't send them. Look at today now, husband killing wife, wife killing husband. What is happening? Those days, we were not killing anybody. Our parents were not killing themselves. There was not even divorce because everybody was patient. Everybody was considerate. Everybody was patient and compassionate. Family meant everything. We stayed in marriage because my children must have father figure, must have mother figure. Now, how do you send your wife away or allow your wife to go? Then you see so many girls coming to cook for you. Tomorrow you want that child to respect you. You are irresponsible. That's why your child will grow up to say, my father, my parents couldn't endure. That's why I'm suffering. I don't want that kind of marriage. Now, Nigerians are saying a child from a broken home will have a broken home. No, it does not go that way. If you're from a broken home and you train your own child well, he or she won't have a broken home.
All right. Thank you, Ma. We don't have much time anymore. So
Okay,
I want us to round up right now, and this is the time where you say something. If I have not asked you, maybe you expected me to ask you, but I didn't. So, and then we are going to take turn. I will go to Sister Abby. Your closing remark.
All right. So I hope my network is okay. I jot few things down. In preparing the girl child to get married, in preparing the girl child to get married in our generation, I'm stressing that in our generation, girl child needs to date. And by date, I don't mean sleep around. I mean dates. Have a relationship. Guy, girl, learn how to deal with people. Learn if you share values with people. Learn what values, if you have values, ask questions. No stupid questions, no too much questions, but ask questions, as many questions as possible. What's your genotype? What's your blood group? Do you love money? Do you like to? Some people are scared of money. Run from such people. Money is good. Excessive love of money might be bad, but money is very good. So run away from people that are talking wretchedly. And I mean that with all sincerity, because they will ruin you. So start asking the right questions. What are your values? And that was why the question, what I said earlier, was about self-discovery, knowing yourself. What do you value yourself? What price, what value do you place on yourself? And I also jot down that make sure before you go into marriage that you're financially stable. And I know so many people will frown at this. Don't put yourself in a difficult situation. Stop suggesting evil for yourself. When you get married, husband is asking you, well, how are we going to manage the children and all? Let it be your choice that you chose to be at home to look after children. Yes, nothing is going to happen to your child because as long as you believe nothing, you train your child, but that doesn't mean that you should ignore that child. So there's a way you can manage life, family life balance. It's all about planning. If your husband and wife are working, they can fix both their days together. They can know how to train their children. You can have nanny, you can plan anything that you want to plan. Your planning is when you don't plan the same things looks as if it's not possible. I also jot down the travel the world. OMG, I don't know how much I'm going to stress this. Travel the world. Don't put yourself in a corner. Even if you can't go anywhere aside from Nigeria, go to Ghana. Go to, God knows how many places I've been to even before Nigeria. In Nigeria, I've been to, I don't want to go through. I don't want to bore you to that. But I'm saying travel the world. Know what values are. Know what's happening in another. Don't just sit down from finishing uni, then the next thing you are planning is going to husband's house. This is why, because if you don't know yourself, you got married and you get to your husband's house, you discover yourself in your husband's house and you're like, oh yeah, what's happening to me? And it's okay. If you're looking at me today and you have made all mistakes, finally, before I continue, develop a hobby. What do you like to do? Do you like to sing? Do you like to talk? Do you like to write? Create something about you, not just about going to husband's house, it's about what value you are bringing. A woman that knows her value. And I wrote that on my page. I said, know your value, all right? And add tax. Know your worth and add tax to it. So this is you. Own it. Own your body, own yourself. And when you want to talk, because you know all what it entails. I always say to people, I'm not somebody's husband, somebody's wife. I am a queen. Call it anything. I can say it anywhere. I am a queen. I'm not just queen because I'm saying it, because I own it and I earn it. So treat yourself well. Treat yourself like you know that this is yourself. So when you are joining somebody, know that you're going there with value. Woman who
Okay.
owns value owns the
Okay.
world.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you.
Queen B, I have to stop you now. Thank you. Timileyin.
Thank you. It's been a very great discussion today, and I learned a lot, I must say. So I would say to me, what I think people should, in conclusion, what people should look out for, I mean, in preparation for marriage, is to have important conversations. There are some conversations that are very important. It is not enough to just see, maybe meet someone in NYC camp and 2-3 months after NYC, you think you'll be together because you had great time during NYC. So I think important conversations like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? What's of importance to you? So by then you will be able to align things and you will see if there are places your interests intersect. Because if I think I came across a Twitter post, was it yesterday? There is this young lady that is very intelligent and smart. So she got a full scholarship to study in the US, PhD scholarship, full PhD scholarship. And she has been in a relationship with a guy for 4 years. So the moment she broke the news to the guy, like, I'll be traveling to the US. And the guy said, well, if you want to go to the US, because he's a patriot, he's patriotic, and he believes so much in our motherland in Nigeria, I said, it's either you go to the US or risk losing this relationship. So she put it out there that people should advise her. Well, I was like, in your 4 years of relationship, what were you guys discussing? Because applying to the US for PhD scholarship requires time, effort, in fact, intelligence, smartness, a lot of things. So when you were going through this process, is your spouse to be not supposed to be in the process? What were you guys discussing? And when someone told you he believes so much and is an ardent lover of the country that it cannot be patriotic elsewhere, it cannot be patriotic from Canada, it cannot be patriotic from the US, it cannot be patriotic from Germany, you should know that your interests do not align. You are not supposed to, I mean, you would always have conflict of interest. You are meant to travel out to have great exposure. Now, this guy is telling the lady that if you want to be a PhD holder, I will sponsor you to be it in Nigeria. To be a PhD holder in Nigeria, you can. In Nigeria, that, in fact, PhD is like putting yourself in a tight corner for so many years, doing the same thing all over again, and you want to do it in the same Nigeria, and because someone has promised to pay for it, so that tomorrow it would tell you you are not, you won't be a PhD holder if not for his contribution, if not for his money. So what I think is people should have important conversations like this. What do you want to do with your life? What are your interests? What do you believe in? What triggers you? What do you think I would do that you would not be happy? And you have to also, like Madam Habi said, you have to also discover yourself. You must know how to please yourself. You must know what makes you happy, because these are the important conversations you should have with your partner. Now, if you do this, I'll be so happy. People have different love languages. Maybe it is buying of gifts. Maybe it is just reassuring them of your love. Even it could be just taking them out. So many things are attached. So I think one thing that stands out for me is effective communication. This has to be well done before you go into any relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Timileyin. Madam Dorothy.
Yes, sir. Okay, my conclusion is this. There is no substitute to peaceful marriage outside the religious books, the Muslim Quran, the Christian Bible. There is no substitute for those two as basis. Those days, our parents used the Bible to frighten us. Do not kill. So we couldn't kill our husbands. Do not steal. They were teaching these things. They were appealing to our conscience. And we ended up having those things in our conscience. Because I don't imagine how a man or a woman will kill the person that you were once naked with. The person you said, I love you. What kind of conscience do you have? So if you are still bringing up young children, even if you don't believe in the Bible, you don't believe in Christian, use the Bible to your advantage, or the Quran, to teach them, to appeal to their conscience. Teach them to appreciate one another. Teach them relationship, fellowship, companionship, And then no woman should stay idle. Every woman, either you are working or you are doing a trade. I didn't say any woman should be full housewife these days. No, but choose a job that will give you time for your children. You may not have to work for 8 hours, work for 4 hours and have the rest of the time to bond with your children. Many of us have children who are strangers to us. We don't know our children because we don't have time. We are all, the pursuit of money is too much. Let a little money be just okay for us, not to impress our friends, not to live in a house that our friends will say, oh, her house is big. Because of that, we work ourselves out. We are dying gradually. Most of us are moving corpses on the road, pursuing money. When are you going to enjoy the money? When are you going to enjoy companionship? So for you to prepare for marriage as for this topic is, there are ask questions like Tinley and other people have said. Find out who he is, who she is. If I grow older, if I lose my job, will this woman stay with me? If I have an accident and I become deformed, will this man stay with me? Check things out. Check family background too. I don't know. Conscience. I don't know. I don't like dealing with people who have no conscience. Because conscience is everything. Please, let's stop killing our spouses. Because that man you kill and the woman you kill, their parents, the women that get back to those children, will never recover from that death. Then you can kill and marry again, and life goes on for you. But your mothers, some mothers, till they die, they will never recover from that killing. So love is not supposed to kill. Love is patient, is understanding. Let's appreciate one another. You cannot love me and work from morning till night. You are in the house, you are a man, you cross your leg. I come back from work, I come and make your food, and you're just sitting down there. What kind of love is that? You're watching me die gradually. So if you truly love somebody, a man or a woman, you will help them. You will do everything to make them happy. Go help the marriage institution. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The village boy, the grand finale.
Like I said, mutuality. If you want to go scripturally, Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together except to be agree?"
No.
If there is no agreement, which is that is why I went through these 3 stages in relationship. At the level of mutual interdependence, you understand yourself. You know that you need each other. If you don't get to that stage, the marriage will still be shaken. And the issue of self-discovery, I want to make a quick comment that self-discovery can happen at any time. The truth is that there are people who don't discover themselves until they are married. There are those who don't discover themselves until they've stopped childbearing. So I don't think it's something that you can legislate, okay, as a woman, you must fully understand yourself. As a man, you must fully understand yourself. When you two come together in mutual respect for one another, in mutual agreement with one another, you help yourself to discover yourself. So there must be mutual respect, there must be mutual love. Marriage, like any relationship, is a give and take. So if only one person is giving, it's going to be a problem. If only one person is just taking, there is also going to be a problem. It is not necessary that the give and take should be 50-50. Sometimes somebody you give as the need arises. Somebody is giving 30, is receiving 70. The guy that is giving 70 is receiving 30, but you are both happy that, okay, you are bringing something to the table. I like the self-assertion of Fabi, but I also caution that we should be careful. Sometimes we may overrate ourselves, so we may be blinded with self-rating. That we may not see, just like Madam Dorothy said, the person that you are seeing today. Just like let me use the example of President Jonathan when he was a poor lecturer. The wife would have seen that she would be one day become a president. She wouldn't have seen this. So sometimes, like we say, nobody knows tomorrow. The moment you have common chemistry, both parties should aim at bringing the best out of yourself. You can help yourself to discover yourself. So self-discovery can happen at any time. I don't know, many of you know Fatai, the Rolling Dollar. in Mushin, discover himself, was rediscovered at the age 70. So there's no age limit to when you can discover yourself. Marriage is good, marriage is beautiful, but we are getting a lot of things wrong about marriage. If we get back to the old order, yes, mutuality, mutual respect, mutual love, give and take is the foundation of marriage, and the giving and take lasts throughout the entire marriage. So it is wedding is just some days affair. Marriage is a lifelong if nothing happens. Thank you.
Thank you, the village boy. I'm very, very grateful. I think we have covered so many things. I'm thinking maybe we should continue this topic next week. If we will continue, we will look at uh, choosing your spouse, what it could require or what could entails choosing a spouse or choosing spouses. I want to also look at uh, relationship between couples that are from broken homes. Okay, because but this you probably need somebody that is really that's kind of trained in the area of such topics. But then we can actually look at it. Then we look at changes in desires. Your desires are before you get into relationship may change it. I mean, I think it's almost certain. If since we are all humans, so as we grow, as we advance in life, as we age, some of the things that we like might change. So how do we handle these things? And then I also want us to look at women and money. So I don't know, but we will get a lot. We will discuss about it, and then we will. I'll get back to us and get back to to our audience as well. Thank you so much for being with us. We've spent almost 2 hours. This is too long, but then I think we have had. I believe it's important that we give people opportunity to talk. So that's what we have done today. So thank you very much to our viewers and to the guests. Thank you. Bye bye.